Aewuo nanu ara enkitok naewuo aiteru enaang nalotu aton metorikuni enkaina ai ninche irmaasai nche kiriki ake minyor.
Maasai women live lives filled with shocking secrets, ancient rituals, and jaw-dropping traditions that few outsiders ever see. Their daily experiences are woven into a unique cultural history most cannot understand. From bizarre marriage customs to mind-bending beauty practices, these are the 10 things Maasai women do not want you to know. Polygamy. The Maasai are a semi-nomadic group from East Africa. They are known for their unique culture, especially their approach to marriage. One of the most notable aspects of Maasai marriage customs is polygamy. In Maasai society, a man can have multiple wives. He must pay a bride price, often in cattle, which are highly valued. This practice is not just about wealth. It also strengthens family ties and boosts social status in the community. Weddings are often arranged when girls are quite young. Maasai parents typically negotiate marriages with the groom's family. They must agree on the bride price before the wedding. The young girls are usually married off to much older men. The arrangement is a way to secure the family's future through alliances. Once married, Maasai women have important roles. They manage the household, care for livestock, and raise children. Along with polygamy, the Maasai practice polyandry, but in a slightly different form. When a woman marries, she not only marries her husband, but also his entire circumcision group. This group consists of men who were circumcised together. It was part of their rite of passage into adulthood. These men can be with the woman when her husband is absent. This practice is widely accepted in the Maasai community. It is not seen as taboo, but as a means of ensuring cooperation and unity among the group. For the women involved, this arrangement is generally accepted and even embraced. Co-wives share their responsibilities, their homes, and even their husbands. They work together to manage household tasks and care for the kids. They don't see each other as rivals. This lifestyle fosters solidarity among the women. It ensures resources are pooled for the extended family's benefit. Child brides. In Maasai culture, child marriage is a tradition. Girls are often married off at a very young age. Families usually arrange this practice. Parents negotiate marriages with no input from the girls. For many young Maasai women, marriage comes too soon. They must take on adult responsibilities before they are ready. The reasons for child marriage in Maasai communities are multifaceted. Economic factors are significant. Families view marriage as a way to secure their daughters' futures and boost their status. The bride price, usually in cattle, is both a payment and a way to strengthen family bonds. This practice can make young girls feel like commodities. They are valued more for their potential to bring wealth through marriage than for their individuality. Once married, these girls must take on adult duties. This often includes managing the household, caring for livestock, and raising children. This drastic shift can severely affect their health, education, and well-being. Many girls drop out of school when they marry. They lose access to education and its opportunities. Without education, their prospects for independence are low. This fuels poverty and dependence. Despite the challenges, efforts to combat child marriage in Maasai communities continue. Various groups and activists are raising awareness about its harms. They stress the need for girls' education. They urge families to delay marriages until girls are older and ready for wifely duties. These initiatives often engage the community. They promote discussions on the value of education and girls' rights. These programs aim to shift views on marriage and gender roles. They highlight the benefits of letting girls finish school. They want a future where young girls can pursue careers and fulfilling lives. They should not be confined to traditional roles due to early marriage. Some foreign families, especially those with ties to child marriage, migrate to Kenya to secretly marry off their underage daughters. These families often see Kenya as a place to uphold traditional customs. They want to avoid the legal restrictions of their home countries. In rural Kenya, child marriage still exists. Laws against it are weak, so families can arrange secret marriages. It is done discreetly. Families avoid the authorities and exploit system gaps. Some seek remote Maasai or other ethnic communities that accept child marriage. These secret marriages often happen in remote areas. They are far from the reach of government officials or child protection agencies. Drinking cow blood. The Maasai people's traditional diet is fascinating. It is unique for its deep connection to their cattle, which are central to their way of life. Many would assume the Maasai rely on beef for food. It would surprise them to learn that they seldom slaughter their cows for it. Instead, they have a unique, sustainable way to harvest cow blood. It is vital to their diet and culture. This bloodletting method involves puncturing the loose skin of a cow's neck, usually with a small arrow or spear. A bamboo straw is inserted into the jugular vein. This draws the cow's blood into a container. It does not kill or seriously harm the animal. Remarkably, the cow heals in a few days. This lets the Maasai repeat the process regularly. Bloodletting is done roughly once a month. This ensures each cow can provide both blood and milk, two staples of the Maasai diet. The Maasai consume blood for various reasons. They reserve it mainly for special occasions, like weddings and circumcision ceremonies. It is also thought to heal. Some use it to cure drunkenness or illness. There are stories of locals drinking cow blood to survive famines. This practice is more often linked to celebrations and spiritual events. The blood is usually consumed in one of three ways: fresh from the cow, mixed with milk, or as an ingredient in other dishes. Some Maasai say cow blood tastes thick, salty, sweet, and steaky. A film forms on the surface after collection. It can be drunk immediately or saved for use in cooking other traditional meals. The Maasai men take great care during the bloodletting. This ensures the cows can keep producing blood and milk. A group of men will hold the animal down, while another carefully nicks the jugular vein with an arrow or spear. They collect the blood in a calabash or clay pot. Once enough has been drawn, they quickly clot the wound. They apply mud or hot ash to stop the bleeding. This ensures that the animal recovers quickly, minimizing harm and allowing it to live on. This sustainable bloodletting is vital for the Maasai. It nourishes them and preserves their culture. In Maasai society, cattle are more than just a source of food. They are a symbol of wealth and status. Scarification. As mark of beauty. Scarification is a key cultural practice in many African tribes, including the Maasai of East Africa. For the Maasai, the process involves making cuts, burns, or gouges on the skin. They then treat the wounds with ash, gunpowder, or acid to enhance the scars. These scars often form unique, raised patterns on the skin. They stand out against the dark complexion of the Maasai, where tattoos are harder to see. The scars are both body art and symbols of identity, status, and culture. In Maasai society, scarification is more than just a decorative ritual. It is a rite of passage. It is linked to strength, endurance, and courage. Maasai men, particularly the Moran, which means warriors, undergo scarification as part of their initiation into adulthood. This transition from boyhood to manhood involves proving one's bravery and resilience. The Moran must endure the pain without flinching or showing fear. These are highly valued traits in the Maasai warrior tradition. Men must protect their community and confront danger, even battling lions. The process itself is physically intense, demanding both mental fortitude and physical toughness. The scars are from deep cuts in the skin, often made with sharpened sticks or knives. The cuts are then treated with substances that burn or sting. This causes the scars to be raised and darkened. This heightening of the scar's appearance serves both aesthetic and symbolic purposes. It is painful, but enduring the procedure without complaint shows true warrior spirit. For Maasai women, scarification is a rite of passage. It is especially important before childbirth. In a society that values large families, childbirth is key for women. Scarification symbolizes a woman's strength and readiness for motherhood. Like the men, the women must endure pain. They must show their readiness to face the trials of giving birth. A woman's scars are not just ornamental. They show her ability to endure pain. So, she is fit for the duties of family life. Scarification is linked to rites of passage and to identity. It is both personal and communal. It can show tribal subgroup membership, mark life events, or aid healing. Each scar tells a story. It may be about growing up, preparing for battle, or becoming a mother. These marks remind us, for life, of the roles of Maasai men and women in their society. Scarification is often a communal experience. Family, friends, and fellow warriors cheer and encourage the individual through it. The raised, intricate scars become a point of pride. They are a symbol of strength, courage, and endurance. In the end, the scars are not just physical marks. They are symbols of the wearer's place in the Maasai world. Shaving heads for marriage. In Maasai culture, marriage is a deep tradition. It has rituals and ceremonies. They symbolize a woman's shift from her family home to her new role as a wife. A key act in a Maasai wedding is shaving the bride's head. This tradition marks her new beginning and readiness for marriage. This act is linked to various ceremonies. They differ by wedding type. The formal wedding preparations begin 3 days before the actual ceremony. The groom arrives at the bride's home with gifts. They include 2 fat rams and honey for brewing beer. He is with his best man, a woman, and a young girl. The men, dressed in black beads and cloaks, carry staff. The woman is also in ceremonial attire. The young girl, while smartly dressed, does not wear ceremonial clothing, as she is not yet of age to do so. Upon arrival, the rams are put in an enclosure. Then, they are taken out to graze with the village's cows. This is a key moment in Maasai marriage rituals. It signifies the union of 2 families and their herds, which are central to Maasai life. The night before the wedding, they slaughter one of the 2 rams. This is to prepare for the bride's head-shaving ceremony. This ram, known as Ol Barnet, symbolizes the bride's transition. Its slaughter is a key part of the wedding festivities. It is on this night that the bride's hair is shaved off, a deeply symbolic act. A shaved head marks a new chapter in the woman's life. It signals the end of her childhood. She must now take on the duties of a wife and a future mother. Her shaved head shows her fresh start. It is free of her past. She is ready for the challenges and joys of married life. The second ram, the wedding ram Orikoret, was also slaughtered that evening. The meat from both rams must be eaten before the day ends. Some fat from the second ram is stored for the bride. It symbolizes the transfer of wealth from her family to her new household. As the ceremony progresses, the fathers of the bride, clan members, uncles and elders gather to bless the couple. They advise, discuss the need to honor the marriage, and warn of the risks of misconduct. They do this while sharing beer brewed from the groom's honey. On the wedding day, her family dresses the bride in traditional Maasai attire and ornaments. She wears leather rings made from the rams slaughtered for her. She also wears a string of black beads. They symbolize her connection to her new life and family. Her shaved head and ceremonial attire show her readiness to join her husband's home, leaving her family. The rituals reflect Maasai values of community, family, and responsibility. The Maasai use these customs to make marriage a societal bond. It strengthens their community ties. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In today's subscriber picks, we'll talk about how Maasai women like men who can jump higher. The Adumu dance is one of Maasai's flamboyant customs. This is also known as the jumping dance. This event, shown in images and films, is more than an exciting display. It is a meaningful rite of passage, especially for women in the society. Tourists may see a reduced form during safaris. This ceremony marks the transition of adolescent warriors, or Morani, into manhood. Young Maasai girls quietly walk their own paths to adulthood. They do so without the grandiose rituals that boys conduct. Boys undergo the Imurata, an initiation that includes ritual circumcision. Girls start their journeys through unique but less apparent traditions. This mismatch highlights the nuances in Maasai culture. It defines gender roles and rites of passage. After their initiation, boys are taken to a maniata, a communal living space away from their families. They learn independence and self-sufficiency here, but they are also unable to interact with women during this time. The Adumu dance itself is a stunning display of agility and strength. Young warriors form a circle. They take turns leaping high into the air, their feet barely touching the ground. The higher a warrior jumps, the more he captivates the young women watching. This is a powerful motivator. Successful leaps can lead to marriage after Unoto. The Morani's camaraderie is palpable as they cheer each other on. They sing in harmony with each jump. Their voices echo cultural pride and youthful joy. The Adumu is dramatic. It also reflects the changing role of women in the Maasai community. Female genital mutilation. In Maasai culture, female genital mutilation is a key traditional rite of passage for women. Many Maasai view FGM as a rite of passage. It marks a girl's transition from childhood to a respected, marriageable woman. Maasai communities, especially in rural Kajiado, Kenya, still value FGM. They see it as a symbol of purity, honor, and acceptance. The procedure is thought to make women more disciplined and mature. It shows they are ready to be wives and mothers. In Maasai culture, an uncircumcised woman is seen as incomplete or cursed. This perception is deeply ingrained in societal expectations and cultural beliefs. Many Maasai parents believe that without circumcision, their daughters won't find husbands. This leads to social isolation and poverty. Additionally, some older Maasai, like 59-year-old Nasirian from Kajiado, hold the belief that an uncircumcised woman brings bad luck and can cause death within the family. These cultural notions support the practice. They pressure women to undergo FGM. It is seen not only as a personal duty, but also as a collective responsibility to preserve tradition and protect the family's honor. Despite these beliefs, FGM is illegal in Kenya. It was banned in 2011 by the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act. The law makes it a crime to seek, aid, or promote FGM. Offenders face severe penalties. The government, in collaboration with international organizations and local advocacy groups, has been working to raise awareness about the health risks and human rights violations associated with FGM. Many campaigns have targeted rural communities like Kajiado to end the practice. However, the example of Kajiado demonstrates that banning FGM is not enough. Many Maasai, especially women, have a deep cultural attachment to the practice. They believe it is the key to success, so they continue to seek it voluntarily. In recent years, some married women have, despite being too old for it, undergone FGM. These women, like the 4 arrested in a recent police raid, said they were unhappy without FGM. They believed it was necessary for fulfillment in their marriages and lives. The clash of tradition and modern law complicates efforts to end FGM in Kenya. Some progress has been made through education and advocacy, but many Maasai still resist change. They plead with the government to allow their traditional practices. Fear of social exclusion, a desire for acceptance, and cultural taboos drive the ongoing practice of FGM in Maasai society. Marriage by cattle negotiations. In Maasai society, cows are equivalent to currency. They play a crucial role in dowries, which must be paid to a bride's family before a marriage can take place. This means that only older Maasai men can afford to marry. They must have enough livestock. Thus, the marriage ritual becomes a status symbol. This is true for men who can afford to take multiple wives. The number of cows in the dowry talks shows a man's wealth and social status. Families usually negotiate to settle on the number of cows and maybe other livestock for the dowry. On the wedding day, the significance of cattle is further highlighted by the ritual slaughter of a bull. This act serves both as a symbolic gesture of the union and as a means to provide food for the gathering. The feast celebrates marriage and strengthens social bonds. It highlights how cattle foster community ties. However, the importance of cattle extends beyond marriage. They also serve as compensation for disputes or infractions in the community. This practice helps maintain social harmony, as cattle can serve as a form of restitution. Yet, the recent drought has changed the dynamics of cattle ownership. Many Maasai families struggle to sustain their herds. Some must sell their cattle to cover basic needs like food and education. This desperate act shows how vital cattle are to the Maasai. They often prioritize urgent needs over their traditions. As the Maasai adapt to a changing climate, their cattle management has evolved. Herding has shifted from traditional methods to more sustainable ones. They aim to ensure the health of their cattle. Maasai herders are now learning to care for their animals better. They aim to cut illness and boost survival rates, even in severe droughts. So they are focusing on preventive health measures. By choosing specific breeds that are more resilient and productive, they can ensure that their investments yield better returns. This shift shows the Maasai can adapt to modern challenges. They can do this without losing their cultural heritage. Women build the homes. In Maasai culture, the task of building homes falls to women, a tradition that might surprise many. While men are seen as cattle herders and providers, it's the women who build and maintain the family homes. Pregnant and elderly women are usually excused from these duties. However, older women teach and guide the young in the building of houses. This transfer of knowledge preserves and passes down these vital skills for generations. Maasai houses use only natural materials gathered from the area. The huts are usually circular or oval. They have a strong frame made from timber poles, which are planted in the ground. This step is crucial. It gives stability and support to the whole structure. Once the frame is in place, smaller branches are woven between the poles to create a lattice. They then plaster the framework with a mix of water, mud, cow dung, and, interestingly, human urine. This makes the walls more durable. The roof construction follows, utilizing the same plastering techniques. It is also coated with cow dung. It waterproofs the roof and protects the home from the elements. The roofs are then covered with grass from nearby bushes. It creates a natural, eco-friendly covering. These huts are compact, but functional. They are about 1.5 meters tall. Inside, families cook, eat, sleep, and socialize. Despite their small size, the huts are multifunctional spaces where daily life unfolds. The interiors are often dark. They have only small round holes as windows, which limit natural light. There are usually 2 beds, one for the parents and one for the children. This promotes a close family atmosphere. Each woman is responsible for her own hut, overseeing its maintenance and renovations. The building process can take a few days to several weeks. It depends on the number of helpers and the availability of materials. This effort highlights the Maasai community spirit. Women often join to help each other. A boma is all the huts in a settlement. It is typically surrounded by a protective thorn fence. This defensive measure helps safeguard the homes and livestock from predators. Inside the boma, a smaller thorn enclosure protects the animals. It gives them a safe place to rest at night. Women care for cattle but cannot own them. In Maasai culture, cattle are more than just livestock. They are central to life. They symbolize wealth, status, and identity. They are part of the community's fabric. Despite their importance, Maasai women can't own cattle. This shows the complex gender dynamics in this vibrant society. At the heart of this issue is the patriarchal structure of Maasai society. Cattle ownership is traditionally a male prerogative. Cultural norms designate men as the heads of households and decision-makers. This view places women in subordinate roles. It limits their control over vital resources. Cattle are vital economic assets, so men mostly control and own them. Women may gain some indirect benefits from their husbands' or fathers' herds, but they lack direct ownership rights. This weakens their economic power and reinforces gender inequality. Moreover, societal beliefs further entrench this disparity. In Maasai culture, women handle domestic duties and family care. They do not engage in herding or cattle management. This narrative sidelines the vital roles of women. They care for livestock and manage household resources. Despite their vital contributions, women's roles are often overlooked. This lack of formal ownership lowers their status in the family. This lack of recognition harms their status. It limits access to the wealth of cattle ownership. Cultural beliefs and laws in Kenya harm Maasai women. Despite progress in gender equality, many laws fall short. They do not address the specific cultural practices and social structures of communities like the Maasai. As a result, women often struggle to assert their rights to cattle, despite their key role in caring for them. This gap between law and culture leaves many women without a way to claim their share of the wealth in cattle. Efforts are underway to shift these traditional dynamics. Organizations and activists aim to empower Maasai women. They educate on legal rights and advocate reforms to recognize women's contributions to cattle management. These initiatives aim to change deep-seated views. They seek a fairer distribution of resources in the community. Despite these challenges, Maasai women continue to demonstrate resilience. Many are finding new ways to engage in cattle activities. Some are forming cooperatives to pool resources and manage livestock together. These initiatives give women more power. They also help change views on female ownership. Pressure to have children. In the Maasai community, there is strong pressure on women to have children. This expectation is rooted in traditional values and social norms. From a young age, Maasai girls are socialized into the belief that their primary role is to become mothers. This expectation is not just a personal ambition, it is seen as a measure of a woman's worth within the community. The ability to bear children is linked to femininity and status. It reinforces the idea that a woman's main purpose is to continue the family line. Marriage often comes early for Maasai girls, frequently arranged by their families and solidified through the exchange of dowries. Once married, the societal pressure to produce children intensifies. A woman who can't conceive or give birth may be stigmatized. She may be seen as lacking in value. This pressure is worsened by the belief that a bigger family brings more wealth and stability. Each child can help with herding or other tasks. Moreover, the patriarchal structure of Maasai society reinforces this expectation. Men, as heads of households, want children, especially sons, to continue the family line. Believing a woman's worth is tied to her fertility can cause anxiety. It can make infertile women feel inadequate. It can also affect those with health issues from childbirth. Cultural beliefs about women's roles in the family pressure them to have children. Women are often seen as caretakers. They are expected to raise the next generation. Not fulfilling this role can lead to social isolation and a loss of status in the community. Fear of ridicule may drive women to prioritize childbearing over their health. The consequences of this pressure can be profound. Many Maasai women face multiple pregnancies at a young age, leading to health risks associated with early motherhood, such as complications during childbirth. Early marriage and childbearing can limit women's education and growth. This traps them in poverty and dependency. In recent years, views on childbearing and women's rights in the Maasai community have shifted. This change is due to NGOs and activists advocating for education and empowerment. Programs aimed at educating both men and women about the benefits of family planning and reproductive health are slowly gaining traction. Women are urged to prioritize their health. They should also seek more control over when and how many children to have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.